Welcome back, viewers at home, and you're tuned in to INX Prime channel 345 on your DSTV decoder. Now, as we focus on health and wellness, we are thrilled to have Kifilwe Ramutla join us. Now, Kifilwe is a dedicated professional in the fields of social work and emotional wellness. Now, with a background in information technology and social auxiliary work, Kifilwe's journey has seen him contribute to diverse fields, from teaching IT skills to facilitating psychosocial support at Childline Gauteng. He currently is the manager at the Safe Space Coordinator, where he leads life-changing programs aimed at empowering youth through economic strengthening, social media awareness, and promoting healthy masculinity. Now, these are some of the things, if they speak to you, I encourage that you tune in. But Kifilwe, good evening, and thank you so much for joining us this evening.
Thank you, and hi.
From IT to now being in the field of social work, how does that come to be?
Look, it was at one point where I felt, no way, this is not me. IT is not me. Because a part of me felt like there's something that I'm not fulfilling in me. So hence I decided, you know what, how about you explore other things? And it so happened that social work became one of the first options for me to explore. And indeed, while in that stage of exploring social work, I felt better connected to the world than when I was in IT. So, you know, the transition from IT to social work, has been quite a challenging one. But I have to say it's worth it, because now I feel I'm in, or I'm where I am supposed to be. The difference that I'm making in social work is way far much better than what I was doing in IT.
Now, speaking on the work that you are doing, I believe you've worked with Childline Gauteng for a number of years, and I think you were supporting vulnerable children and young individuals. Now, being in this space, you must have gained some experience in terms of interacting with people, the different, elements that, affect people in different ways. I want to know from you, from this experience, would you say that it gave you the understanding in, understanding emotional as well as mental wellness?
Yeah, being in this space, getting to see the world in other people's point of view, uh, allows you to be in an environment where you get to experience the in-depth of people, and emotionally and mentally, truth be told, a lot of us are not well. And this is expressed in how we lead our daily lives. And it has shown to be quite a challenge in our communities. So having to work with people on that level, it has quite extensively given me a broader understanding of how important emotional and mental health is in our communities. Yeah.
Now, I just want to extend on the fact that you're saying a lot of us are walking around and we don't see the extent of our brokenness. I want to know from you, what are some of the introspections that we need to start looking into to best assess the level of brokenness that we have within us, and how do we even start healing those parts?
Yeah. Look, it has to begin with how you receive the world. Assess how you receive the world. There are things that are meant to come to you in a positive way, but because of the brokenness, we take them as heavy and negative and shadowing and all that. Now, immediately when you see those signs on you, immediately when you go an extended time in your life and you are not happy in your space, you need to start questioning your life or your health mentally and emotionally. So that's where you need to start.
I believe, when starting with children, it's a bit tricky because, I mean, they're still trying to understand the world. They're still trying to sort of form an understanding of the emotions that they are going through and certain experiences within their environments. And I believe that's where the work of, social work comes in to intervene and best be the sort of the mediator in that sense. Now, I believe also you have an extensive experience in grief and loss support for children. I want to know what are some of the key challenges, children face when dealing with trauma, and how can, caregivers like yourself and that of parents come in to best assist them in navigating that challenge?
Yeah, the biggest challenge is children are not capable of expressing their traumas verbally. So these traumas come out to the world in behavior that we people who are looking from afar label it as problematic. And then now you label a child as problematic, you treat them as problematic, they become problematic. So it is a big challenge that they cannot express it, and therefore the way we treat them as a society puts them in a space where they end up feeling like, you know what, I am worthless. And then now they no longer face life with that zeal and that confidence and the energies that they need to actually become themselves. They no longer face life in that way. And then, that puts them in a disadvantage because some of them won't even go through school, some of them won't even have a social life. So such things put them in a very awkward and difficult space, which will then later bring them into other mental illnesses like your depressions and.
But then how do we then come in and be more of a solution? Because we're so quick as a society to naming a child problematic or to naming a child impossible to deal with.
Yeah.
But then now how do we then start becoming more, cognizant to such behaviors and finding solutions to those underlying issues?
Yeah. Let us learn. Let us be people that crave education. Remember I said that these things in kids, they come out via behavior. Let us look into these behaviors and actually wonder why are they behaving in this way, and then we then go back to learn about these behaviors. These behaviors will lead you to the core problem of the child. And then after you have learned, after you as a person, a caregiver, you have actually understood what that behavior means, you can then be able to work with the where the behavior stems from. So that's how, as us as caregivers, can offer support to the young people. Let us learn about this behavior and go attack the core of the behavior instead of attacking the child for behaving in that particular way.
And another thing, I believe that you are actually a coordinator at a safe space. Can you tell us a bit about safe space and what is safe space all about?
So basically, these spaces, these safe spaces as we call them, we have designed and created a cocoon for young people, whereby anything or most of the things that they cannot get at home, they should come and get them here. And when I'm saying things, I'm talking about understanding, I'm talking about love, care, an ear to listen to you as a young person, people to be around that will not judge you for who you are. So that is how we have created a safe space, a space where there's no judgment, a space where people actually listen to you, where actually your voice matters.
Now, Kifile, I believe you're an individual who, does a lot of work, especially in positively impacting the minds and the well-being of, young individuals as well as that for children. I want to know from you, how do you then go about, empowering the youth through economic strengthening, social media awareness, as well as promoting healthy masculinity?
With a empowering them economically. We have realized in the few years that we have been working with young people that unemployment is the leading source of their depression. We live in an age where, as a young person, society has created a certain standard for young people to say, by this age, you should have achieved this much, right? Now, because of unemployment, we have young people who cannot achieve certain things at certain times in their lifetime, and then that causes a state of depression in them. So, us creating such programs, we are basically offering them a step towards the right direction, offering them an opportunity to remove themselves from the state that the society has forced them into, to an environment where, as young people, they can walk confidently to say, okay, you know what, I've got these skills. Now I am confident to walk through that door and be like, hey, this is me, this is what I do, this is what I put on the table. And then we believe that that will increase their chances of employability, and then it will remove them from their state of depression.
Now, Kifilo, unfortunately, we have run out of time, but I would have loved to sit down and continue our conversations, because we believe that, our viewers are young, and, a lot of times young individuals are basically sort of left behind with their issues and concerns. It's always, they have to find their own way and finding their own place in the world. But just as a closing remark, what would you like for viewers to take away from our conversations? And importantly, from the work that you do, what do you feel is a very strong message that every young person or parent needs to be aware of?
For the young people, I'd like to say to them, they should allow themselves to experience what they are experiencing. They should allow themselves to feel what they are feeling. That will put them in a position that will develop them mentally, emotionally, to people who are in a stage where they are strong mentally and they have gained emotional intelligence. And to the folks or older people who are sometimes caregivers, I would like to say to them, be mindful of these young ones. Be mindful of them. Whatever that they are going through is bigger than what they think. So they should create a safe space for young people to be able to express what is actually inside of here. And in that way, it would solve half of their problems.
Kifilo, thank you so much for coming in this evening and just sharing your insight as well as your journey with us this evening.
Look, you are most welcome. And thank you all for allowing me to be here. It's been an honor.
Viewers at home, you've heard what you needed to hear in best to navigate your personal, indifferences, challenges, or sometimes just not coming to terms with what reality is serving you with. And that was all from our guest, Kifilo Ramutla. Make sure that you can always rewatch our amazing conversation on Facebook. But on that note, let's head over to a net break. See you when we come back.